Welcome to my views and news Sunday's second video. Firstly, Getachew Reda lashed out at Isaias Afwerki, Eritrean president, Eritrean ruler today. He used very strong language for Eritreans, common Eritreans. He called them guinea pigs, that they lack courage to stand up to Eritrean ruler. Can we blame Eritrean people for the policies adopted by Eritrean government? Secondly, viewers, fighting is being reported on Sudan-Ethiopia border, not close to Humera, but close to Matimma. Matimma is border crossing between Amhara region of Ethiopia and Sudan. Pictures are being shared of service cards, ID cards of Ethiopian National Defense Force and Amhara Force soldiers who have been killed reportedly. And thirdly, viewers, Woldia city, where reportedly some shells have been fired on Woldia University. Tigray forces are positioned close to Woldia. Are they in a position to shell Woldia University, which is in Woldia city? Firstly, viewers, Tigray presidential spokesperson, member of TPLF's executive committee, Getachew Reda, today used very strong language against Eritrean people. He lashed out at Isaias Afwerki, Eritrean ruler too. Firstly, he said that Eritrean soldiers have been captured by Tigray fighters, and when they are interviewed, it becomes clear that the Eritrean soldiers taken prisoner were told by Eritrean government that the soldiers would be able to easily capture Tigray's territories, that it would be a cakewalk to capture territories in Tigray. So they were brainwashed by the Eritrean government that the soldiers would not be in danger and they would be easily taking control of territories in Tigray. Secondly, he said that Isaias Afwerki wants to be Pharaoh of Horn of Africa, king of Horn of Africa. And for his adventures and ambitions, he is using people of Eritrea as objects of experiment, as guinea pigs. He used the word guinea pigs, that Eritrean people are guinea pigs, objects of experiment for Isaias Afwerki. And those who are sitting abroad from Eritrea, they keep on supporting, keep on praising Eritrean ruler, that Isaias Afwerki is standing up to the West. And lastly, he said that some Eritreans lack courage to stand up to Isaias Afwerki, civic courage. Well, I personally think that his use of strong language against common Eritreans should have been avoided. Why? Because common Eritreans are helpless. They are not in a position to stand up to Eritrean government. No one should blame them. Can common Tigrayans stand up to Tigray regional government if they decide? No, they cannot. They'll be crushed. Can common Ethiopians stand up to Ethiopian government? See what is happening in the Amhara region. Thousands are in detention. Fano fighters, armed Fano fighters, disarmed, thrown in prisons. So you should not blame, I think, Eritrean people. They're already suffering. They're not in a position to start a movement against Eritrean government. They need support from outside players, otherwise, or they need support of some major players in power. On their own, I don't think they're in a position to stand up to Eritrean government. Yes, some members of diaspora, I always say that, they also support Eritrean government. They support the war as well. Why? Because this war is not hurting them. They are sitting outside Eritrea and by claiming to be patriots and nationalists, they're not serving the people of Eritrea. They're serving Eritrean government. I also say that some Eritrean diaspora members should speak for common Eritreans who are suffering. But you should not blame common Eritreans. They are receiving, they're on the receiving side. I mean, if they don't join the war, they'll be arrested, detained. If they join the war, they can be captured, they can be killed, they can be wounded. So that is what is happening. Secondly, viewers, Sudan-Ethiopia border where fighting is being reported on one front. Some ENDF soldiers, Amhara Special Force members have been killed as well. Kimant fighters are fighting Ethiopian government soldiers on this front. Front is Matimma, viewers. Matimma is a border crossing between Amhara region of Ethiopia and Sudan. This border crossing remained closed several times within the past 1 year, and there is presence of Ethiopian armed groups on Sudan side of Sudan-Ethiopia border near Matimma. This is not the first time that we are hearing that attack has been carried out on Ethiopian soldiers near Matimma. It has happened in the past as well. Mostly Kimant fighters are there, but some say that Tigray fighters have their presence as well close to Matimma. Mostly Kimant news sources are claiming that near Matimma and in Jebel Secure, there was fighting between Kimant fighters and Ethiopian Federal and Amhara regional forces, and some members of ENDF and Amhara Special Force were killed. And these Kimant news sources are sharing some pictures as well, showing service cards, ID cards of the killed ENDF members and Amhara Special Force members. You can see the pictures on your screen. These are the pictures shared by Kimant news sources, which are claiming that there was engagement between Kimant fighters and Ethiopian government soldiers near Matimma. There could be involvement of TDF as well. By the way, a few days ago, we reported about fighting between Tigray fighters and Ethiopian government forces on this front. Kimant fighters could be backed by Tigray fighters. Several armed groups, Ethiopian armed groups, are operating on Sudanese soil. Tigray fighters, Kimant fighters, reportedly some presence of OLA fighters too, and Gambela Liberation Front fighters as well. Ethiopia has been protesting against Sudan, that Sudan is providing support to Ethiopian armed group. It has been happening for years, not something new, but since the start of Tigray conflict, now Ethiopian fighters have organized on Sudanese soil, and we keep on seeing attacks on Ethiopian territories from Sudan. Lastly, viewers, Woldia University was shelled reportedly. Government is silent, but reportedly there was shelling on Woldia University. Tigray forces are deployed close to Woldia. They are stationed there. There is deployment of ENDF and Amhara forces who conducted shelling on Woldia. No statement from the two sides. Tigray forces are in a position to shell Woldia city. They are around 10 to 15 kilometers away from Woldia city. So Woldia is within the hitting range of TDF's artillery. Could be some shelling by mistake by ENDF as well, but no statement from ENDF side so far. but several sources in the city are confirming that some shells were fired a few hours ago on Woldia University. No details about the damage caused. Was there any human loss or material loss? Government is silent, but sources from the ground say that Woldia University has been shelled. 2 days ago, reportedly, a sugar factory in Volkait was shelled. Again, no statement from the government so far. And before that, we saw airstrikes on Edi Dairo in Tigray, in which the Dairo town suffered substantial damage. So, could there be a message from Tigray forces that they can hit infrastructure facilities in the Amhara region as well, which are under the control of government forces in western Tigray as well, if Tigray is shelled indiscriminately? Let's see, but so far no statement from the two sides about shelling on Volkai sugar factory and shelling on Woldia University. Thanks for watching.